Hi, today our topic is JavaScript and ES5 in web development. I will explain basics of JavaScript and ES5 to implement in web pages. So let's start. Today we will cover these topics. What is JavaScript? JavaScript variables and functions. What JavaScript can do? What is ES5? ES5 features and syntactical changes. What is JavaScript? JavaScript is the programming language for the web. JavaScript can update and change both HTML and CSS. JavaScript can calculate, manipulate, and validate data. This is a wonderful client-side coding language, which will help web developers to change the HTML or CSS code in the web page without refresh or reload the page. For example, if we are trying update a live table data, we can display the updated data without refreshing the page with JavaScript. JavaScript variables and functions. There are different types of variables like numbers, strings, objects, arrays, functions. Please find some examples of variables. Here var is the data type. We can use var data type for all kind of variables. From these examples, you can expect x stores the value 5, y stores the value 6, and z stores the value 11. JavaScript numbers. JavaScript has only one type of number. Numbers can be written with or without decimals. All numbers are stored as double precision floating point numbers. The maximum number of decimals is 17, but floating point is not always 100% accurate. Here we have some examples of JavaScript numbers. JavaScript strings. Strings store text. Strings are written inside quotes. You can use single or double quotes. The length of a string is found in the built-in property length. Here we have some examples of JavaScript strings. JavaScript objects. You have already learned that JavaScript variables are containers for data values. Here we have one example of JavaScript object. This code assigns a simple value, fiat, to a variable named car. Objects are variables too. But objects can contain many values. Please find one more JavaScript object with multiple values. This code assigns many values, fiat, 500, white, to a variable named car. JavaScript arrays. JavaScript arrays are used to store multiple values in a single variable. We can store both variables and objects in the array. Please find here one simple example of JavaScript array. JavaScript functions. A JavaScript function is a block of code designed to perform a particular task. A JavaScript function is executed when something invokes it or calls it. We can use JavaScript functions as a variable as well as a separate method or function in JavaScript. Please find here one example of a JavaScript function. This function returns the product of P1 and P2. What JavaScript can do? This section contains some examples of what JavaScript can do. JavaScript can change HTML content. JavaScript can change HTML attribute values. JavaScript can change HTML styles or CSS. JavaScript can hide HTML elements. JavaScript can show HTML elements, etc. JavaScript can change HTML content. One of many JavaScript HTML methods is getElementBead. This example uses the method to find an HTML element, with ID equals demo, and changes the element content, inner HTML, to hello JavaScript. Please find here one example of inner HTML with getElementBead method. JavaScript can change HTML attribute values. Please find an example here. In this example, JavaScript changes the value of the src or source attribute of an img tag. When you will click on turn on the light, it will turn on the light. And when you will click on turn off the light, it will turn off the light. JavaScript can change HTML styles or CSS. Changing the style of an HTML element is a variant of changing an HTML attribute. Please find example of changing HTML style. This example will change the font size to 35 pixel. JavaScript can hide HTML elements. Hiding HTML elements can be done by changing the display style. Please find one example of hiding HTML elements. If you will set the display as none for one HTML element, then it will hide the element from the HTML in web page. Similarly, JavaScript can show HTML elements. Showing hidden HTML elements can also be done by changing the display style. Please find one example here to show the HTML element by changing the display property of HTML element as block. Now we will get to know, what is ES5? ES5 is a shortcut for ECMAScript 5. ECMAScript 5 is also known as JavaScript 5. ECMAScript 5 is also known as ECMAScript 2009. ES5 features and syntactical changes. In ECMAScript 5 features. These were the new features released in 2009. The useStrict directive. String.trim. Array.isArray. Array.forEach. Array.map. Array.filter. Array.reduce. Array.reduceWrite. Array.every. Array.sum. Array.indexOf. Array.lastIndexOf. JSON.parse. JSON.stringify. Date.now. Property getters and setters. And new object property methods. In ECMAScript 5 syntactical changes. Property access using square brackets on strings. Trailing commas in array and object literals. Multiline string literals. Reserved words as property names. Please find some references to learn more about JavaScript and ECMAScript 5. Thank you for watching video. Connect with us, to learn more. Please provide your feedback in comment.